Hey guys, how's it going? Dutchman Games here. Today we are in Unreal Engine 5 and we're going to make a stylized environment using the advanced village pack that you can get on the FAB store. I'll link it in the description, and we can do this in 3 simple steps. So let's get right into it. First step, you need to set up the project. So what you need to do is you need to download Unreal Engine from the Epic Games launcher. Get Unreal Engine 5, get the Advanced Village Pack, you can get it in the FAB store, link down below, and then put it onto your project. So you need to create a project in the Epic Games launcher and then put the Advanced Village Packs in there. And then what you want to do is you want to go to File, once you're in Unreal Engine, click on New Level and click on Basic, Create. Now we are in this basic form level, and first thing that we're going to do is to finish the setup is go to File, click on Save Level As, and then just put it in here and say Main Level. So now we have our level saved, and we can just easily save it by pressing this button. Alright, step 2 is let's get the basic landscape there. So we're going to make a little quaint village. So let's make a landscape, let's put the basic static meshes everywhere, and then in step 3 we're going to finish it. So let's get the landscape. So in this case you want to click on landscape right here from the drop down menu, and then you want to go to the advanced village pack. In here there should be a materials tab and then a m_inst_landscape, and then put that in here. And then you want to create it, but we don't want it too big. We want it 40 by 40 by 40, and create. Everything will be black like this. What you then want to do is click on paint, go down here and click on create layers from assigned materials. Now it will create all these layers, and then you can right click and fill layer, and there we go. We have our green patch. Now for example, we could, if we want to, paint this with this layer or paint it with this layer, and we will do this later, but for now let's finish the landscape. Go to sculpt, and right now we're going to build a little mountain around it. So I am going a little fast, but that's because I feel like sometimes these tutorials are fun when you do them fast, so that you guys can learn it quickly. If you guys want me to go slower, let me know, and I'll make a version of this tutorial where I go a little bit slower and explain every little thing around it. So now that we've made these little hills, you want to put the highest hills in the distance, so the furthest away the hills must be a lot higher than the close by hills. That will kind of create a form of depth where the front is a little bit less high and then the back is higher. Also, we're going to make one little hill in here. That's actually a huge hill. Flatten it out and then smooth it on the sides. And what this creates is kind of a little bit of a difference in height, which is always interesting for the village to have. And then smooth the sides like that. And one side can be a little bit steeper. Alright, now that we have our very basic map set up, what we want to do now is we want to fill the corners and fill like the sides with some trees. So let's go to the foliage tab, also from the drop down menu up here, foliage, and then go to the meshes, click on static mesh from the filters. So right here you have filter tab, and you can, so let's say there's no filters here, you can click on the filter tab right here and then click on the static mesh, and then look for grass, and then maybe you can even look up grass. Maybe, yeah, there's 3 different ones. So what you can do is you can just drop some grass down. Now what you need to do is you need to select them all. So press on one, hold shift, click on the last one, don't select them all, and then make sure that they are that the align to normal is off, because then it will just grow straight up. Now with grass, it might be better to keep it on, and then it will grow sideways, which is for grass is fine actually. So pepper everything with grass. There we go, we have grass everywhere. And then what you want to do is you want to take one of these and then set the culling distance to 5,000. What this will do is this will remove that specific grass type from all the other grass, and this will just make everything run a little bit smoother. If your PC is a little bit worse than mine, and you're having issues with this already, then you can also apply this to all of the grass. So that is fine for now. Alright, and now let's go to tree. Should be a few trees in this. As you can see, we got all these, and you want to unselect these grass assets, and you want to throw in the trees, and you want to basically do the same thing. So in this case, you want to remove the align to normal. You want to make the brush a little bit smaller because the brush is actually quite big, and as you can see, this is insane. So we need the paint density to go down a lot. So let's put the paint density on this. Still way too high. So then maybe it's the density, yeah, per 1000 by 1000, so cubic meters, I think, or cubic units or whatever. So put it on 5, and let's see what happens. It's better. Oh, it's not actually on 5. There we go. So that's a lot better. So just paint the sides of the map with this. Alright, and then also paint the surroundings of the village with this. Alright, now we have a lot of trees in our village, and we are going to now work on the path. So our village must have a path. So let's again grab these foliages, and then, oh, my bad, and then remove these, and then just keep these foliages, and then get the remove tool, I believe it is, or is it erase tool? I was on it. And then make a little path like so, kind of, or just erase a little bit here. And then now we're going to the paint tool from the landscape again, and we're going to basically make a little road. So the road comes from down here, goes up here, goes like this, goes in the village, and then it goes to like maybe a circle, and then from the circle there's, you know, a few houses on those ends, for example, and then maybe a house here. And then you take the other layer and you make the brush size even smaller, and then you just like pepper a few of these in there to kind of like make it a little bit less crazy, if that makes any sense. Alright, and then what you also need to do is you need to remove the remaining grass that's on this road. There we go. And you know, this, I mean, this could go on for however long you want this to go on for. Oh, that's too big. Maybe something like this. Yeah. There we go. Alright. So this will be the village. And what we're going to do now is we're going to actually place the houses. Now these this asset pack has these houses already pre-built, which is going to make it very easy for us. So here we have one house, and here we have another, and you just want to place these houses down. And you can also custom build them, but this is just as easy. Just put all these houses down. And it's actually cute to have them have their lights on. So maybe also for the other one you can change those to the ones with the lights on, or keep one with the lights off, and then in some of them you can put a chimney, which we'll make use of in the third step. Alright. And then now we're just gonna fill up the area with stuff. Stuff to make it look fun. So think about little fences, you know, so like this, like, you know, this guy's got a little fence, a little garden. Think about a fence around the village, maybe even. So in this case, there's like a little fence that runs here at the entrance of the village. And then we can make this one a little bit longer. And, you know, you can make this as intricate as you'd like. I like to kind of like put a little bit of effort into this. And we can, let's see what else we got. We got some logs. So, you know, this house has have some logs. And then there's a potato. Wow, I wanted to say potato. There's a mushroom growing here. A potato. What's wrong with me? You know, there's a little bag here, and there's a bag here. And there's a sack with some food, and this guy's got a pumpkin too, which is pretty cool. This guy's got a spear next to his house, because why not? And then, of course, you also want to add in rocks to kind of flesh out the area. And you can just make them bigger or smaller, or kind of like play with the size so that it doesn't become too basic. It doesn't really matter for low poly if it looks a little, you know, low quality. It doesn't really matter with low poly. So you can extend these assets all you want. Should not be a problem. If anything, it will look interesting. And then you can put in a tree, like an actual static mesh instead of just a foliage tool. And then, of course, we need to add in streetlights, because this is a town with a working electrical grid, apparently, which is fine. And a well. So you can actually grab all these together, and it should form almost perfect. There we go. It's good enough for me. Copy this one and throw the bucket in there. There we go. Put a wheel against it, because why not? Don't have to reinvent it. Sorry, that was lame. And then what you can also do is you can actually put, and this could take a bit, but you can actually make this an actual path by placing all these rocks where the path should be. Now, of course, I am doing this a little bit fast, but if you take your time for it, it will look a lot better than what I'm doing. But of course, I just want to give the idea of the way it could look. But you know, with a little bit of turning, a little bit of TLC, and a little bit of different placements and stuff like that, you can make it look a lot better than what I'm doing. But I do want to do it because, as you can see, it adds so much to the scene already. like this. And then, as you probably already noticed, we have some grass growing in here. Don't want this, so we're removing it. But we are actually adding grass as well. So what you can do now is add some grass to all the, sides. So when it's like not on the path, but like some next to the path, it actually makes it look pretty cool, I think. Adds a little bit of depth to it. Alright. There we go. Like that. And, yeah, we get some flowers we can place. And then, once that's done, we can put it down a little bit more. Mushrooms, not potatoes, mushrooms. Put down some more logs. Maybe crate or a vase or whatever. A potato. Put down whatever you think you need to put down. And just kind of make it clutter, because clutter sometimes just adds to quality, unless you are placing things that don't make sense. But generally speaking, if you just place down a lot of stuff, it just adds to the depth, which is interesting to me sometimes, because I feel like, it has to make sense to a degree. So, with that done, we're going to step 3. We have our little village, we have our landscape, we have our road leading up to it, and now we're going to step 3, which is lighting and post-processing and all that stuff. Alright, so in step 3, what we're going to do is we are going to change the lighting and all that stuff. So let's get post-process volume up and make that into a 500 by 500 by 500 scale. And let's set up a bloom. So the bloom can be a little bit higher. Let's set the exposure to, let's make it 0.1 by 0.1. Let's make it 0.02 by 0.02. Let's make it -5. Nah, -2, -1, -1 I think is good by 1, so it could be darker. -1 I think is good. And then what we need to do is we need to go to the temperature, the global of the color grading, go to saturation, and then just bump this up to 1.2, 1.2, 1.2, 1.2. Whoa, 1.2, 1.2. And actually make it 1.06. Yeah, there we go. A little bit of saturation makes it feel a lot more cute. Alright, what we need to do now is we need to go to fog and add some exponential height fog. So we already have that, but let's actually add another one. And this one we need to change the fog density to put it like a little yellowish, and then just make it a little bit more pungent. There we go. So that adds a little bit of mystery, but still keeps it nice. And then what we need to do is we need to go to the directional light and set the light to 8 lux. Make it extra light and stuff. Alright. Now let's go to the particle effects, which is I think it's cascade particle effects that this system has. There we go. And I can see some fire torch, fire camp. So that gave me an idea. Let's actually go to campfire. So there's actually blueprint for this, which I guess would be nice. Yeah, why not? So throw that in there. It's not bad. Got a big fish on it. And then go back to Cascade Particle Effects from the Village pack. And then we need chimney smoke. So put some chimney smoke in the chimneys. All of them. So I think we placed 3 of them. So we can do that. We can add some mist to some of the areas. And then we can add some falling leaves under the tree, which is really nice. Add a falling leaves system here, add a falling leaf system over here, and some dust particles here and there. And then we will build lighting, and then we're done. So that was the video for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please do leave a like and subscribe if you did. It would help out a lot. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, so that's pretty exciting. Yeah, so that was it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.